Hello, I'm Shawn Kent Hayashi. In this video, you'll learn about the skill of decision making and why it is a vital competency if you want to become a star performer, grow to the next level, or become a more inspiring leader. I'm an executive coach and a high-performing teams consultant. I work with organizations of all sizes. I help leaders and teams become high-performing together. My team has identified 25 different competencies for leaders and aspiring leaders to grow, thrive, and lead collaborative, innovative, resilient teams. Today, you'll learn how to gather data, evaluate options, and ask the right questions to make consistently sound and timely decisions. Let's dive in. One of my favorite books on the topic of decision making is Yes or No. It's a guide to better decisions by Spencer Johnson. The best decision makers avoid indecision and half decision by using both their head and their heart, their thinking and their feelings. We could say, first, I use my head by asking practical questions like these. What is the real need? What are at least 3 different options that could become solutions? Then I explore each option in more depth. So for option 1, what could that look like? And if we did that, then what? Then what? And then what? We're building out. If I do option 2, then what would happen? And then what? Then what? We do this again for option 3. If we did this, what would happen? Then what? Then what? Think this out at least 5 times. When I've finished using these reasoning head questions to analyze my options, then I want to consult my feelings, my heart, by asking questions like these. Am I really telling myself the whole truth here? Am I leaving anything out? Am I trusting my intuition, my gut? Does this feel right to me? And what would I decide if I wasn't afraid? What would I do if I believed I deserved even better? If your key stakeholders will also be impacted by the decision, ask them what additional insights they may have. Then it's time to put a stake in the ground and decide. When you can answer yes to these questions that I'm going to ask you in just a moment, then you have a clear decision. So first question, am I meeting the real need? Am I informing myself of options? And have I thought each option through several times? Does my decision show that I am being honest with myself? Does my decision show that I trust my own gut, my own intuition? Does my decision show that I believe I deserve better? Leaders also need to be aware that there are 5 different types of decisions. One is I decide, a command decision. The second, I consult individually with 1 or more people, and then I decide. Or I might consult with a whole group, maybe in a meeting, a team environment, and then I decide. Or I could facilitate consensus building and pull a group, a team together, define the problem to be solved, and set boundaries, and act as an equal participant in the decision, and let the group use consensus to decide. Consensus doesn't mean that everyone agrees. Instead, what it means is that people are willing to move forward with the decision that's on the table. I delegate, set boundaries, and let others define the problems and solutions, and make the decisions. Here's a coaching challenge for you. Keep a journal of your own decisions. Make a list of great decisions that you've made in the past, and then make a list of decisions that you would make differently now. What did you learn from these experiences? Capture your learning. Begin to notice your patterns in making decisions, especially when the decision is significant or when commitment from others is important, you have to get buy-in, or when the leader has very deep expertise versus when the leader does not have deep expertise. Also notice if there's a likelihood of commitment already established or if you need to secure commitment. Notice how you make decisions when there is already goal alignment, when the team agrees on the vision, where they're going. In other words, when there's not a lot of conflict. There's a likelihood of disagreement. Notice what happens for you. Notice when a group has deep expertise in an area and they've already been successful working together in the past. They're a high-performing team. Versus when a team is new in working together, or maybe they're not as competent yet in working together. How does that impact your decision-making? Use your learning journal to track your decision-making over the next 30 days. It will help you to see that emotions are an important, yet often overlooked, part of our decision-making process. Sometimes people don't make decisions because they fear conflict. They don't know how to resolve it. If that sounds like you, I encourage you to watch my videos on conflict resolution and emotional intelligence. You'll find them linked below. I'm a big believer. We're either winning or we're learning. Thus, it's useful to make a decision, move forward, and then learn from our experiences. It's okay to make a decision today and to look at it again later to adjust as we learn from our experiences. Many years ago, I made a decision to become a stockbroker, and I worked in investment banking for several years. As I learned more about my own passions, interests, and talents, I made changes from decisions, and it better suited my talents. Those were really important key decisions in my life. When we give ourselves permission to experiment, then decision-making is easier. A coaching client of mine thought it would be a great next step to become a professor and teach in an MBA program. I suggested he test it out by teaching an evening class instead of quitting his job and diving in full-time. He discovered he didn't enjoy grading students' work, and he decided he really didn't want to teach in that kind of environment. So he moved into training and development in the corporate environment. If you're considering a big decision, find a way to test drive it before you decide to commit. People who are well developed in the competency of decision making demonstrate an ability to make thorough decisions in a timely manner. They gather the relevant input and they develop a rationale, you could say the criteria for making their decision. They evaluate the impact or consequences of decisions before making them. They act decisively once all aspects have been analyzed. They focus on timely decisions after the situations have been completely discussed. They update decisions if more information becomes available. They provide a rationale for decisions when necessary, and they systematically analyze information before deciding. Look at all aspects of a situation involving historical components when needed. Ask the right questions rather than making assumptions to produce a timely decision. I'm a big believer most decisions can be made in about 3 days. We just need to let ourselves sleep on it and then trust our head and our heart. If you'd like to take an assessment to discover your ranking of the 25 competencies we're discussing in this series, please reach out to me. If you'd like guidance, direction, and accountability in learning how to become a masterful decision maker, or you want to develop this skill across your whole team, I'd be delighted to talk with you. Please share your thoughts on these ideas below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. To learn more about the Professional Development Group, check out our website at theprofessionaldevelopmentgroup.com. Thanks for joining me today.